Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dive Live, Board Deck and Dive, Board Deck and Dice Live, or Board Deck and Dive Lice. Nice. Today we're continuing my top 100 games of all time as of 2018, and we're into the top 30 at last. It's been a long time. We're just gonna crack right on with this. Let me just move that there, bosh that there, bosh that there. Here we go. For some reason I haven't got the screen set up correctly, so we just bosh back here, dosh. There we go. I have to do that every time. Number 30 is Robin Hood and the Merry Men. Now, some people call shenanigans because, of course, I am friends with the designer of this, Mr. Martin Poole, but I was actually very relieved that there was a good game behind it because I was worried I was going to have to lie to him and say it was good. However, not everyone disagrees. One person here giving it a 1 out of 10 is obviously doing a work of service to the people to balance out from the 10 from people who have not played the game. These are the people who put out Rise to Nobility, it's put Rise of Nobility, but it's Rise to Nobility. Can't even get the game name right. Which is a similar game to this, which is getting really bad reviews as being an overproduced slog of a game. This looks amazing, but also looks just like also just looks just like Ron. Who's Ron? Overproduced, poorly designed slog. I hope I'm wrong. Artwork is amazing. Good. Love it. Love it. Broken Garbage masquerading as a game. Well, in some ways, aren't we all broken garbage masquerading as games? Robin Hood is a worker placement game with some cool mechanics where you are not just playing a worker, you have to play a card to the side of your board as well. The deluxe components are amazing. Yeah, the board does look a little crammed and there is a little bit of fat that could be chewed off the side, but overall it's a splendid game and a semi-co-op game that actually feels like it works. Here we go, here's the full setup there. That must be, oh no, two-player game. So that is why, for me, it gets position 30 in last year's top 100. Number 29 is Welcome to the Roll and Write. That is not a roll and write, but it is a draft and write, turn and write, draw and write. Boring! Terrible service. Also, how can a game provide terrible service? Also, unresponsive to sales in the marketplace. Best of all, publisher rates the game a 10. Another roll and write. There are better ones out there. Avoid. Rating might improve if Deepwater Games improves their customer service. Might. But very generous of you. So in Welcome to, you are attempting to build the best neighborhood. As this person called it, Beefcakeville. You have to go sequentially up and down there. There's 3 piles of cards. As you flip over the card, a number appears, and then on the card next to it is a action. You have to place the number in one of the houses, and you can take an action. Actions to let you cross off gardens, let you circle pools, let you put in fences, let you change the numerical value of a number so you can fit them in, and you basically want to get as best as you can everything filled in and achieve some objectives. It works really well. It's a little bit more thinky for a roll and write or whatever and write, but I really, really like it. Number 28 is Role Player. 1 to 4 players, 60 to 90 minutes, moderate puzzle building character. Like Sagrada with dice placement, but making character, has D&D-ish themes. Excellent review. Role Player is the least interesting, least meaningful game I've ever played. It is the pinnacle of hyper-balance, no interaction, no thrill system of equations Eurogaming in existence. It is nothing but an exercise in optimization. It has no goal, no theme, no narrative. It has no meaningful impact decisions. It is simply making sure the value of A, I'm not sure what that is as high as possible without CBD going below the 5% threshold. It's not that I cannot do these kind of calculations, it's just that it's extremely dull, uninteresting, and boring. I see no reason to. Fair enough. Yeah, Sagrada often gets mentioned in the same breath as this because you are drafting dice to put into these little grids, trying to get your stats to match whatever card you have up here. There's a lot of variety in the game. You'll use traits to kind of try and boost yourself up or change things or manipulate the dice. It's really clever and I really, really like it. And obviously there is some direct interaction because you are drafting dice. Excuse me. And you can hate draft, especially if you use some powers to manipulate the dice. So that is a role player. Number 27 is Newton, which is absolutely tedious on almost every level. Nice of you to tell us which level it wasn't tedious on. Newton is a hand manipulation, card manipulation game with elements of going up these. You're using the cards to go up these tracks. So very much a Euro game with tracks. They're a bit more cleverly disguised in this game. You can wander around a map. You can go up these kind of invention or kind of methods of thoughts to get more bonuses. At the same time, you're trying to build out your library on your player board, which will get you points like every. So if you've got that, every time you score, you're going to get 4 points. Whereas if you've got that and that, then every time you score, you're going to score 7 points. And you're doing this by playing cards in a kind of almost Mombasa-esque fashion, apart from picking them up again. And they let you do various things like interact with the board or interact. Here you go. This is you're building up an engine. No, not Mombasa, because you kind of can permanently put ones under there to give you more power to your actions. So here I've got 3 of them, which is good. I'm doing a really terrible job explaining it, but yeah, you want to you want to kind of match up what you can do, gives you extra. So if I've got cog action, I'm not sure this person's done it right, but I've got 3 there. I think normally you put them under each other. So a kind of cog action will I have a base of 3 strength for that action. It's very enjoyable to play. I really like it, and it is my number 27. Number 26 is the Quacks of Quedlinburg from Wolfgang Warsch. Family, 3 out of 3. Okay. Multiplayer solitaire is not fun. Overlong multiplayer solitaire, almost completely luck-based. I'd rather play Monopoly or Dice in the Alley. Stay away. Fair enough, you're entitled to your opinion. I really like Quacks. You are building up your potions with a drawing from the bag, push your luck mechanism. You start in the middle. As you go along, you can push your starting water, which dilutes the potion, but not, that's good for you, bad for the customers. Further and further out, so you've got more and more chance of going round. Each different coloured chit here or token that has a different power as per the books you're using, and you can mix those up every game, and there are tons. You can draw these things simultaneously, so the game goes a bit quicker than you think. People have put these chits, including me, into coin capsules to protect them because perhaps they weren't the greatest, or some others have printed 3D tokens. And I believe Board Game Geek are doing a set of acrylic tokens, sort of like this. I don't think those are the ones. They're quite funky. It's just so easy to play. It gives you some choices. I really enjoy it. Hence, it being my number 26. Into the top quarter, number 25. And this might go high. This is Raiders of the North Sea. Not nearly enough tension in the choices available. I can always do what I want, which is not the kind of game I enjoy playing. Will not play again. I'm not sure that's entirely true because you have to have the right colour raider to go to certain places, and there is definitely an element of racing towards some of the more lucrative spots. So I think you can always do what you want. It's not entirely a fair representation. I feel so many other games do what this game is doing a whole lot better. I would say this game does what a lot of other games do in a different way. So let's see, let's find out a picture here. Is this one clear? Oh, it's like a montagio of pictures. No, it's not clear. Come on. Now we'll go back here. I saw it somewhere. Flipping heck. That's the one I want. So you have these places up here, which are areas you can raid. To be able to raid, you have to meet this requirement here. Have 2 members of your crew, have 3 provisions, and all the kind of building up for that is done down here. What's really clever is on each go, you will place one worker on one spot, and then you'll take a worker away from another spot. That would seem fairly simple at first, but then as you go through and unlock some of these raid spots, you all start with black workers, and then you get a grey and a white one, and certain spots can only hold certain colours. So up here you can see just about this will only take a grey or a white worker, whereas down here you can do a black or a grey one. So it's really clever. Certainly the expansion adds mead I really enjoyed. The other expansion I wasn't so sure on, just because I felt like it added a bit too much when I was still getting to learn the game, but I may change my mind on that in a future play. Number 24 is pick up and deliver game Whistlestop. Feel like this game tried to fit too much in while staying below a weight limit. Didn't really work out. Seems a bit ruly, and room to play on ahead is limited. I liked it, but I'm not in a hurry to play again. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is what get a 1 out of 10 on Board Game Geek. This is a bit more reasonable. Totally colourblind, unfriendly game. Sadly, did not find out until I purchased game and tried to play. The 2 other players are not colourblind, but still struggled with pastel colours used, etc. Very poor. Yeah, I can't really argue with that. The pastel colours are a little washed out. However, I love this game. As you go, you're building routes across the board, trying to get your trains onto these, and once you get them onto these, they're plucked off for more bonuses. And if you can get to the big scoring ones, that helps you do very well indeed. I absolutely love this game. You've got to think about your route, but it's not too heavy. There's only a couple of things you can do on your go. It just works really well. Sometimes it's one of those games I sometimes feel I'm going to run out of like the fuel to go, coal and whistles, but it always works out all right in the end. Whistlestop, my number 24. Moving on to 23, we are at Kraftwagen V6. This probably shouldn't get played with 4 players. There's too much randomness with research cards and not enough going on that a player could get trapped with almost nothing to do. Ridiculously broken mechanisms. There are a couple of exploitable strategies that work every time. Chaos and randomness. Meh. Research should be on a separate track, not on cards. Everyone should have the same chance to level up in the research, not only by looking cards. Cards are the worst thing in this game. Take card action should be changed to make research action. 1 point up at the research track. Not a game for gamers. Well, I liked it. There was a really clever, action selection on this sister here, where it's the last player in last place always takes the next turn. So you can zoom ahead and do whatever you want. But if you do, you're giving other people plenty of turns. Lots of different ways to score by building cars, selling them to the right customers, test them out on the test track. Just really sweet game that I love. Number 22, coming at ya, Le Havre, which could also be said Le Havre. Here we go with our conspiracy guy getting in every section of 10 on my list so far. We don't even need to read that now. Well, now I see where all those cowardly French jokes come from. This utterly, this could be potentially racist, people. This utterly lifeless, soulless POS, person of significance, has less conflict than a bunch of baby chicks and is significantly less entertaining too. Interaction is not normally something I get hung up on, but it really is almost non-existent here. You can't even reasonably deny people from resources like in similar games for F***K's sake. Everyone continually loops round a straight track with different resources on each spot, and only the player whose turn it is currently is can decide to take the resources there or not. The closest you'll get to interaction is buying a good building first or blocking others from using a building while you were in it. In addition, the game is absolutely painful if anyone suffers from AP. Mind you, even if anyone takes their turns fairly quickly, it still goes on for the same far too long. Lame ducks are potentially forced to sit through an excruciating 1 to 2 hours for the game to finally come. F starts, okay, you are wasting my time, Lahab, and your so-called theme. Pretty angry. Same crap. Collect things, upgrade those things, feed some workers, harvest, repeat. This thing isn't exciting. How many of these things can this guy crank out? There are reviewer who go into rants, major ones, when they see repeated themes, Egyptian, Mediterranean, trading, but have no problems with basically the same core mechanism with the only the player count changed and a different theme glued on. What's up with that? What is up with that? We may never know. Le Havre, oh, this looks like a pretty one. It doesn't come with these custom boxes that someone's made, but really useful boxes fit very well on them on the spot, so you can just chuck them straight out. Is a game where you are working in the harbour, trying to get resources to build buildings, to build boats, but you do have to feed your workers, and if you upgrade your resources, you can feed them more efficiently. It is definitely a Juve game, but I find it quite pleasing and more enjoyable than some of the other ones, even like Caverna. There are debts in the game, as per. But yeah, I really liked it. There's a lot of variety packed into the game, and it is my 22. My 21, I'm sure some people will be furious about, is Wildlands. Wildlands is good. But my copy has poorly aligned card graphics on the back, and Osprey has yet to return any of my emails about getting replacements. It makes most of the cards easily identifiable from the back. Such a shame for an expensive game to have such poor quality manufacturing. I will avoid all games published by Osprey in the future. And then I believe there was a very good one. In the past days, the period of Tree Frog, and sometime after that, the game from Martin Wallace was an auto buy for me. But he has put out some crapshoot, which is mediocre at best for the past few years, so I didn't buy this game. But with Australia, a game that I actually don't like, he finally made a game I don't mind owning and actually want to play. This, however, is by far the most horrible Martin Wallace game I've ever played. This is a 10.000% crapshoot. I stood at two places to pick up a gem, but couldn't get those, it's a rude word, matching symbols into my hand. The pickup thing is, in fact, a crapshoot. This is a fighting game where you simply have to wait until close by enemy is weak enough so you can play an interrupt card and give them the final blow. Matron, how this can be fun beats me. So to put it simply, I will never play this horrible game again. So sorry, Nico. If you would have the incomprehensible urge to play this again, it certainly won't be with me. Someone's a little hurt. Wildlands is custom-made gaming board. It's actually look at the pretty. It's actually a really good game. And yes, you do need to manage some of your cards, decide if you're going to keep them in your hand to pick up your gems or whether you're going to use them for battling. It has beautiful components. I don't really see it as luck because you can kind of use the wild cards. I have a feeling he wasn't taught very well. Brilliant insert. There's been 2 faction expansions and a map expansion, and there's another map expansion on the way, and it is being ported into the Judge Dredd universe with the upcoming Judge Dredd Helter Skelter. Unfortunately, I've heard that those systems are not compatible, but we'll see about that. We might try it anyway. Well, thank you very much if you have indeed joined me. If you haven't, I can say what I want about you. Of course, you will never hear it. We will be on to the top 20 soon. Maybe I'll do the top 20 as one video, just rattle through it. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it a 2-hour long special. I won't do that. See you next time.